The Stormlight Archive, one of the best ongoing fantasy series, and it started off brilliantly. The thing is though, will it fall into the old curse? Will Brandon Sanderson be unable to top his first installment? This curse of the sequel being unable to top the original has gone on for a long time, but there are quite a few who have broken it. The Dark Knight trilogy, Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, I could go on. Come with me as I compare and contrast The Way of Kings and Words of Radiance in character, plot, world building and overall, without any spoilers of the events happening in The Words of Radiance. If you want an age rating, go check out my review of The Way of Kings. Remember, like before death, subscribe before weakness, and comment before destination. So now it is time to compare the first aspect. Plot, 7 out of 10. The Way of Kings has the exact same score because it has the exact same problem. Pacing. I noticed that the ebb and flow of the Stormlight Archive is quite different from many other books. Usually there is action, then a breather, then action, then a breather, so on and so forth, gradually increasing in intensity to create momentum. With Brandon Sanderson, there are very long breathers and very few and tiny short spurts of action. But the thing is, these breathers were never at all wasted. He used every second to build the emotional turmoil of the character, slowly pushing them towards their final decision. Because of this, many people will find it very slow. Instead, Brandon Sando saves it all for the climax. And boy, there is a reason it is called the Sando launch. Both of these books have slow act 1s and 2s, but 3 is ridiculously fast. Because of this, they are both equal. But let us see whether this equality will continue onto the next aspect. Characters, 9 out of 10. Another exact same score. Who knows, they might have identical overalls. This time though, there were some actual differences that evened out in the end. For one, less time was spent on Dalinar, giving the screen page time instead to side characters like Adela, the Parshendi, and a few others. This gave both an advantage and a disadvantage, because Dalinar is a very interesting and novel character, but it helped flesh out the rest of the team, giving more supporting character arcs. While Shallan has gotten a lot more interesting because of a few factors that I won't mention here, she still doesn't pull off a satisfying character arc. Oh yes, she learnt, grew and changed, but little of it contributed to the Sando launch. In the end, all the momentum rested on one tired, beaten, broken pair of broad shoulders. Kaladin. Once again, Brand Sand stuck the landing epically with one of the sweetest and most emotionally poignant character arc climaxes of all time, but it had more definition. The only weakness though was that Bridge 4 was not that interesting this time around. They weren't so pivotal. I mean, they were still awesome, especially Moshe, but, well, The Way of Kings beat it on that. But let us see whether that balance continues on too. World building, 8 out of 10. Alright, yes, exactly the same once more. Most sequels suffer from the disadvantage of the world now feeling familiar, making that spark of discovery so much more difficult to conjure up. Sand found a genius way around this disadvantage. He showed Parshendi culture. I will not go into detail because of spoilers, but man, that was a genius move. Finding out about strange and alien cultures was enough to keep me very interested in it, especially by a man who knows how to shape culture around cause and effect. Along with that, he kept us world-building nerds on our toes by showing other cultures as well, in some cases directly impacting the story. Overall, 8 out of 10. Here it is, my Radiance viewers, the total and undeniable answer. Of course, you need to educate yourself so that you can agree with my opinion, so I'll put a link in the description below to buy this big and beautiful book. Now, jokes aside, I honestly couldn't at all figure out which was better. Some believe the Way of King rules, some say Words of Radiance outshone its predecessor. But you know what I say now. Just remember, like before death, subscribe before weakness, and comment before destination. Now, lash yourself out of here, and until my next video drops glowing out of the sky, Veronwë out.